Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY candy corn flower pot 2 different ways. First you're going to need some flower pots. This is a big one. It's got a chip in it. If you have a chipped one, that's fine. We're going to paint them. And then a smaller one. You can upcycle these or you can buy them at Walmart. I got mine at Walmart. You're also going to need these gloss paints from Apple Barrel. They are in the colors of white, pumpkin orange, and yellow. And they are the gloss paint. They are 97 cents each from Walmart. You're going to need a knob or two. These are kitchen knobs. I got 2 for $1.97 at Walmart. And you're going to need your hot glue gun with just regular hot glue. First thing you're going to do is we're going to prime the paints with the coat of the gloss paint. Now, how is instructed to me is the reason we use the gloss paint because it kind of helps seal the flower pot in a little bit and gives it, you use less paint. You could get some better coverage because the gloss paint is almost like protecting it with spray when you were done painting it. And this project filmed for 80 minutes, so I have it at 4 times speed so I can fit it in this video for you. Actually, I guess it's like even 8 times speed. So it's just me painting flower pot. There's no great technique to this. Just pour, brush, pour, brush. I used a foam brush for the prime coat, and then we're going to use a paintbrush for the other coats, but that's not a difference. That's totally up to you. If you do have some white, maybe oil-based or gloss spray paint and you want to just use that instead, you can. I just know that those 3 bottles of paint made these 2 flower pots, and I still have tons left over. I think I can make 4 flower pots out of these. And I just want to let you know, I think the big one is 12-inch pot, and the next size, the small one, is an 8-inch pot. The big one was $2.47 at Walmart, and yeah, it had a chip in it, but that's okay. And the small one was $1.74, I think. But I'm pretty sure. Okay, so super quick, base coat, let them dry. There's a lot of waiting. The other thing I didn't show you that you needed is rubber bands. And you need some rubber bands that are big enough to go around the circumference of the pot. And they're also going to use work like a masking tape almost. You're going to be able to run your brush up against alongside of it. So we're going to show you that technique. That's really the trick to making these this candy corn look in shape. I learned this from my friend Carrie when we were in Homemakers together. She taught me this technique and taught me how to do this flower pot, and then I ran with it. Sorry, it's a little blown out. Every once in a while the camera readjusts its light, but what I'm doing now is that I'm adjusting the rubber band. This is a great way. You could masking tape, but masking tape around something that's conical tends to sometimes not be straight and even. The rubber band really does work great. These are kind of thin. I would have liked to have had the fat rubber bands, but I didn't have any on hand. But if you have an unsteady hand, maybe get yourself a fat rubber band. Because what this is going to do is you'll be able to like adjust the rubber band around the entire flower pot. And you can actually take a ruler and measure perfect lines if you want to. I opted for like that homemade look. And I'm just eyeballing the rubber band. I have it approximately a third of the pot part, not the lip, is broken down. And that made the top section a little smaller because that's going to be the lip. I'm going to show you 2 painting directions. One of them is going to be traditional candy corn. Has the big part of the candy corn is yellow, so that's what I'm doing this pot to go with like the autumn thing. And then the other pot is going to be the opposite, where it's going to be like the bottom of the candy corn is yellow. So we're going to do that. So what you see here is that I'm just gently running the brush up against the rubber band, and I'm using the rubber band as a guide. If you put on a thick coat, then you might end up with the little tiny thick like ledge of paint when you take the rubber band off. But that to me was not objectionable. If it's objectionable to you, then you know you can always sand it down before you go on to the next coat. And then because I've made the top layer of this yellow, I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside yellow as well. And if you plan on filling your pot with flowers or something that you're not going to see the inside of the pot, you can just skip painting the inside of the pot altogether. I just know that sometimes I like to put candy in it and sometimes flowers, and then there's different things you can do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of my pot. And now that we've primed it, all of these colors only need one coat. Be generous with your coats. They are still acrylics. They do dry super fast. But yeah, be generous with your coat, and and then try to get as even coverage as possible. And even coverage is like if you see a big blob of paint moving around. I actually missed a big blob that dripped later. Well, so now I'm doing the same thing with the small pot. I'm placing the rubber bands around, trying to make them as even as possible. And I said on this pot, we're going to make the bottom be yellow. And I just wanted to share this with you. This flower pot candy corn man face, I actually made in Homemakers. I made a set. I made a big one, a little one. And when I moved here during the hurricane move, the small pot broke. So that was figured, since I was going to make a new one, I would show you guys how to do it. And then show you some variations on it, okay? Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the knobs. And for the face, I ended up painting both of these, but then I realized I was only making one face, but you could do whatever you want with the other one. But I like the nose to be yellow. The yellow is going to stick in the white part. Whether you do yellow on the top or yellow on the bottom, the white part's always going to be in the middle. So I like a yellow nose. It's cute. And I've just used the same paint. Let it dry. And then, yeah, I've stuck a stick in the hole of the knob. But you guys do whatever you need to do. So now I am getting ready to paint the orange. I have let it dry a little bit. This is actually dried overnight, but you don't even have to let it dry that long. It's just that that's what I was crafting in the middle of the night. And now before I do the orange, I'm adjusting my rubber band. You know what? I said the white was going to be in the middle, but the white's not in the middle. The white's on the end. Anyway, it's orange is the middle is his face. But anyway, what I'm doing is just painting the orange, doing the same technique. I've actually removed the top rubber band. And I went to go, okay, let me start over. I went to go roll the top rubber band and it broke. So now I'm just being very careful and using my steady hand. But I still have the rubber band to guide me along the bottom, okay? And that's why you could see me going slow sometimes. And just make sure you don't have any lumps of paint. You get to spread them out really well, all right? And you'll see when we go to do the white, the technique for rolling the rubber band. And again, I'm sorry that I didn't use it first. I realized after the fact that maybe you guys would like the technique on how to roll the rubber band. So we'll do it. You'll see it come up in a second. But now I'm just doing the same thing. I'm painting the orange in the middle. And again, this pot is the opposite of the other pot. However, it's still the same orange in the middle. I know I said white in the middle a few minutes ago, but I don't know where my brain was at. And the one thing that I wanted to show you, just an added tip, is I've taken the back of the handle of the paintbrush and I've created these little tiny highlight accents on the nose. You just use the back of the paintbrush into the paint so you get like a little dot on it, and I just dragged it across. And you do this for any time you need just dots or, making flowers and stuff like that, okay? So now the big pot, I'm going to go ahead and just freehand paint the white bottom. And one thing I didn't show you on this one is that I didn't paint the bottom. I didn't prime the bottom on either one of them. But when we did the yellow on the little pot, you guys saw me paint the bottom. All right, and like I said, when I get to show you the white on the little pot, I'll show you the rubber band technique of rolling the rubber band. And if you see a comment where somebody asked a question that I explained already, don't worry about it. Not everybody listens to me talk. Some people just watch. So here it is. As you could see, all I'm doing is rolling the rubber band over. I'm leaving the one edge that's painted. It's actually kind of stuck to the paint. And I'm just folding it back over the other direction so that I can use it as a guide for the other color. You can't do this while it's still a little wet. You can only do this when it's completely dry. But this is actually the technique if you have trouble painting a straight line, that you can butt your paintbrush right up against the rubber band. Another tip that we were taught back in school, and I said art school the other day, but I meant in school in art class. You just push the paintbrush so that your paintbrush fans out flat, and then you use the edge of that to get along the edge of your stuff. Don't try to just use the tip of the paintbrush to do full lines and stuff, because you get more control if you push the paintbrush flat. Well, I do anyway. That's what my teacher taught me. Who knows if that works for everybody. But now, as you see, I'm painting the inside of this pot white. And this one is going to be the one that's going to be the face and the little canister for candy. And yeah, I'm sorry about the lighting adjusting. It's kind of automatic, and as the sun comes in and out. So now it's completely dry, and I'm taking the rubber band off, and I'm just seeing if I don't like the little bumps that are on there, the ridge of paint, but it doesn't bother me whatsoever, so I'm just going to leave it. But if you guys want to, you can just take some sandpaper and sand it down. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to figure out which front of the pot that I like. If you have any chips and you want them to be in the back, if you have chips and you think they're endearing and you want them to be in the front, but find the part of the pot that you like the most, and that's where we're going to put the nose. And now we're just going to like guesstimate where the eyeballs want to be. So I've gone and kept most of the eyeball on the orange where the nose is, and I've just made ovals, like egg shapes. And as far as the mouth is concerned, it is the squiggliest line is the cutest mouth. And I know that sounds crazy. You can take a U, you can trace something if you want to do before you put the nose on, go right ahead. What I'm doing here is I'm sticking my finger in the yellow paint, and I'm almost like dry brush blushing. I'm just using the yellow mixed with the light orange. It does make a really cute little smiley face. And I'm just taking the lightest. It's better to do many light coats than to do one and try to get it off. You know, to try to like go back over with orange and wash it off and stuff. It's easier to just do many light coats. Just like you're doing blush on your own face. And I think that's what makes him the cutest. I'm just redoing his eyes with the darker marker. I didn't like the way that they came out with the marker from Five Below. So I'm going over with this Sharpie, giant fake Sharpie from the Dollar Tree. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did with his nose. We're going to do with his eyes, okay? So we're just going to dip the end of the paintbrush in the white paint and make these cute little highlights. And there he is. Isn't he adorbs? Now the work onto the big pot. I've decided to take this pot, and I really wanted to make it like a more of an autumn, because candy corns can carry over from Halloween to autumn. So what I've decided to do is I've taken just a Sharpie, and I've written autumn, and then I've written harvest. We talked about this great farmhouse font, and I wanted to tell you I did a little bit more research on it, and I noticed that I was saying if you draw a straight line and then you try to make the word go on the line, but I was looking at so many of these fonts, and the line, like the A is up there and the P is down here, and like they don't match. So I think like the more lousy your freehand is, the better it probably looks. But the same thing, I'm just using the same script. I realized that the other day I made the wrong S's, so I just went with the wrong S's. I just kept using the wrong S's because I didn't want to like make them look different. Okay, so what I'm doing here really quickly is I'm just dry brushing some antique white over the entire flower pot. It just looked a little too vibrant and a little too new for that farmhouse feel. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the antique white in the beginning, and this is just an option. If you've never dry brushed with me before, it's pretty much you just put some product on your paintbrush, brush most of it off onto a surface, and then take it to your work. And then here what I've done is the next day I've gone back with a foaming block, and I've sanded off some just to give it a more antique age look. And here they are. Aren't they cute? So now I'm just going to show you a variation to do with the big candy corn, okay? I'm taking my floral, and if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I found these two bushes of autumn florals that are normally $5. I got them for $2.50 when we were planning Eden's wedding because they had sunflowers on them. So I've since removed the sunflowers for all the projects we used for hers. And I've replaced whatever stem was missing with these little hanging pumpkins that I got at the Dollar Tree. And these are the Dollar Tree leaves that I used for my apron the other day. This is just the leaves that are left over. And then these are just some more Dollar Tree florals. And as you can see, well, maybe you can't see because I'm kind of going kind of fast. I'm just shoving them in there. I'm not cutting any. I'm not arranging any. I'm just removing the tags and sticking them in I've taken these little pumpkins from the stems, from that one stem that I had the other day, and I'm replacing whatever sunflowers were so that they're cute. I thought they were cute hanging on there. And then just bending wires and making it look cute, quick and easy. And then for this little guy, I just filled him with candy. I overfilled him with candy. And here's how the autumn harvest pot looks with the flower arrangement in it. Like I said, I didn't alter any of these flowers. I didn't glue anything. These flowers come right out, and I can use them for other DIYs next year if I want. And then here I am. I put it next to my kitchen sink with some kitchen towels in it, just another alternative. So that's it. I hope you really enjoyed these tutorials. I tried to make it easy, like that kids can help you do it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video if you really enjoyed it. And share with friends and family, anybody you know who has anybody who would like to make these. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel and join this crazy family. And as always, take care. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye.